Hi, my name's Louise Clarke, and today I want to talk to you about my new book that I've written for professionals working with male crack users. I started working with crack users in 1991, and when I started the job I was asked to develop services for women crack users, so that's what I did. But also in that process I still worked with the men that was coming into services, and so I was really working with men and women, but I was developing services for women, so a lot of my work is around working with women, but I did work with men as well, or I do work with men as well. They are different to women in a lot of ways. I was told don't separate them when I was studying, but really there is a difference between men and women, and some of it I outline in the book. I could tell even when I first worked with the users, because when a male client came in, I actually had a client that was telling me he was using cannabis, but he didn't make any sense in terms of cannabis addiction, and I felt like I was being strangled in the session, so I went running to my boss and said I can't work with him. I feel like I'm being suffocated, being strangled, but it was I was picking up the guy's energy. And yes, so for a men, a lot of the time there's a lot of anger that's trapped. They can't. There's ego involved, really, which I do write a book on. So anyway, what I want to do is introduce the book. I did training for women crack cocaine users, and then what happened was for working with women crack cocaine users for professionals, and then what happened was people in the drugs field come and asked, would you do for men too? So I set up training for men and crack, working with men crack users, and to each training session I used to produce my own booklets, which this was the booklet, Men and Crack Uncovered. This is the book that I'm promoting today. I've re-edited it and added another chapter into it on the 7 types of users, because through my workings with many users, I saw evolve that initially there was 6 types of users, but then I discovered there was a 7th type that I hadn't come across before. Most users fit into them categories. I'm not really into categories, but when asked to do the training initially, people wanted to sort of have a structure, so I did work it into 6 types of users, but as I say, I've since found there's another type of user. So also in the booklet or book now is the 7th type of user. I do also have the Women and Crack book out now that's available to work with women crack users, and I also have my book online, which is very cheap for users. I made it very cheap so that they got no excuse why they can't afford it, or someone could buy it for them, maybe their mother or a friend, because this is written specifically for them. And I could write in loads of academic language, but I don't see the point of showing off how good I am at writing academically, so I wrote this book for the users in a language that anyone can understand, and even people in other countries would be able to understand of a different language, because it's so simplified. I wanted to simplify all the issues and all the things that they would read in other books that are written about crack cocaine. There's no other books that I'm aware of that to help crack cocaine users directly, self-help books. I think mine's the only one in existence. And so yes, now I do have a website, higherinsight.webs.com, and I do have pages on Facebook following the titles of my book, or page for Higher Insight. I do have Twitter, Higher Insight 1, and I do have Blogspot, which is Higher Insight, and I think it's Higher Insight 6, because I just have them by different numbers. There's the first 5 chapters of this book available for free. So there's no excuse why people can't try and stop using with just that alone. If you have any questions regarding anything that I'm talking about, please put them in a comment below, and when I get to see them I will respond to them best I can. So yeah, as I say, this book is Men and Crack Uncovered, and it's written for professionals working with crack cocaine users. It doesn't really matter, crack or cocaine or speed or any stimulant, they all work on the same principles. So yes, I'll put the links underneath this video of all the sites that I mentioned that I have pages on and so forth, and yes, wish you a good year. Okay, bye bye.